Hi, and welcome back to Beyond the Monsters. Today we have Lee here with us. All right, Lee. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yes,
Appreciate it.
yes. You go ahead and start wherever you're comfortable.
Okay. Well, I guess I can
Tell us all about you.
tell about me. Well, I'm originally from Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay.
Live in Virginia Beach now. I served in the U.S. Navy for 8 years active duty, and then served Army National Guard for another 8 years before
Wow.
my injuries were too much to continue to serve, and they sent me home.
Oh,
Um, I was a lot of what goes on with me in inside is what I like to call my demons that
mm-hmm.
keep going. Is I was few deployments, Middle East. Was in Somalia, Mogadishu. That was a pretty intense time.
Wow, I bet.
Um, during one of my 6 month deployments, during that time, I worked with not only the Marine Corps security unit on the Ranger, but also I was a criminal investigator. So I dealt with a lot of the bad side of things going on board.
Yeah.
The USS Ranger was an aircraft carrier, so I was
Okay.
a criminal investigator on there for a while.
Wow.
Saw a lot, dealt with a lot, um, had conversations with a guy that decided to jump over the ship in the Middle East.
Oh,
And
jeez.
during that time, I was like having the conversation with him. It kind of got intense because he kept saying, "Well, they told me to," and I was me as an investigator trying to figure out who told him to jump over. Which guy do I need to go after? Well,
In his
come
head.
to it, it was all in his head.
Yes.
Um,
Schizophrenic.
he was,
Yeah.
but as soon as I kind of started to figure that out, talking to him, and then as soon as he said that the devil was speaking to him through his Bible, um, I said, "Okay, it's time to
Something's
call
going
the
on
chaplain."
here. Yeah.
so,
Yes. Yes.
so yeah, that.
Oh,
So I dealt with different things like that, and it
right.
wasn't all bad. I enjoyed my time in the military, learned a lot,
Yeah.
made some good friends. But back then, I joined in 1990,
Okay.
and during that time, you didn't talk about things that were bothering you or
Right.
things that were driving you to, have bad thoughts, that kind
None
of
of
stuff.
that mental health talk.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
didn't. It was mental health was not as in the forefront as it is now,
Right.
which was very unfortunate. We find out, but it also put a lot of more stress on us than I'm sure a lot more people than me. I mean, I know it put a lot of stress on
Right.
me, but you didn't talk about that because it was a weakness, and you worried about you had older guys that were in charge of us that would tell us, if you're having those kind of problems, they can put you out of the military. Your
Right.
career's done. You're this.
Right.
So that was that was where you
So keep it
thought you're like,
inside.
yeah,
Yeah.
keep it all to yourself. Don't go to a psychiatrist.
Right.
So even back then, I mean, with a security clearance, we were told if you went to a psychiatrist, you would have to be reviewed and possibly lose your security clearance. And so, but which wasn't true, come to find out. But
Right.
it was what was told to
Scare
us.
tactic for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Gosh.
They put a lot of bad thought. So you already were going through a lot of things, and then that thought was there. So it was like it just compounded, and um,
So they didn't have in the military, which I'm assuming probably not based on what you're saying, but you were never able to like decompress kind of thing after, dealing with people that are wanting to jump off the ship and in your position, they didn't do anything like that.
no, it was just
No,
you're
like, oh, let's talk through it or
no. They would like the
just is
master
what it
chief and the warrant
is.
officer I work for. They're like, well, just make sure you make a detailed report so we can turn it into the commanding officer. And it was
Oh,
like,
okay.
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, no real.
All right, let me just
Not like
internalize all of it
yeah,
too.
yeah. I'll just hold on to all this. Let me.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you learned how to compartmentalize,
Right.
which also is not good either because when
Mm-mm.
you keep compartmentalizing and holding things at some point,
You run out of
it's
space.
really going to come out. Yeah,
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
And then years on, going through all these things, I never really focused on me at all.
Mhm.
And so years, obviously years later, once I was over in the National Guard and now I had kids. And
Mhm.
so I'm trying to just continue on doing day to day. And you hear about everything going on when it's like, I'm already out of the military, but you hear about these things going on, and then there's stuff. Um, well, I was out of active duty, I should
Mhm.
say. I was
Right.
reserve. Well, come 9/11, that was a big thing. We were on full recall. Lived in San Diego area at the time. Um, we showed up at our unit, didn't know what was to go. They were doing big muster to get everybody together. I mean,
Yeah.
which was, I mean, it was good to see that everybody did respond. We even had people from that had been AWOL for years from the National Guard show up and say, "Hey, I'm back. I'm ready."
Really?
And it was like, yeah. And
Wow.
we had a really good commander back then. He was a really good person, and he was supposed to uh, hammer these guys, and really take them for being AWOL and just.
Right.
And he went, "Okay, you did a bad thing. You're now an E2 again. Welcome back." Um, so
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
did the least amount he could legally, without getting
Right.
himself in trouble,
Yes. Yes.
um, to kind of thank these guys for coming back, because it was a time where you know it
Needed
was weighing on
everybody.
everywhere. We
Yeah.
we needed people, and they
Right.
were here and willing. It's like, okay, let's
Wow,
just
that had to take a lot for them to just show up because they didn't really know what would happen, right?
yeah.
Being AWOL.
Oh yeah. I mean, it could have
Yeah.
been, and they're being that we're guard. It was state run, so
Right.
most overall, the state, once you're past 90 days, they basically just give you a. I don't think it's a bad conduct discharge, but I think they give you like it's a legal discharge. So
Okay.
it sits on your record, but nobody had ever done paperwork on these guys. So they
Right.
showed up and they were like, "Hey, here,
Right. Yeah.
thanks for coming back. Here's your
Good thing
paperwork."
it was that commander because you just never know.
Yeah, yeah. He
Wow.
was he was a person that had been through a lot. He was a tank commander at the time, and he'd been through a lot of things. So he kind of was. He was one of the first guys that when I had some trouble during that time
Mhm.
before 9/11, he was one of the first military leaders that said, "Hey, something looks off with you. What's going on?"
Wow, he
So,
recognized it.
yeah, it was kind of. And then I found out later on his wife, I think it might have been his fiance at the time, but now his wife, um, she was a psychologist. So I guess he was kind of used to being around the talk, the thoughts,
Yes,
that kind
yes.
of
And maybe
conditioning.
he had her to talk to too about his own shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it kind of gave me a different little bit of a light. Like, I was still like, I shouldn't be talking about this. I shouldn't be telling you because I could lose
Yeah.
my position. I could
What
so.
was going on with you, if you don't mind sharing, like, during that time?
Just well, it was mostly just, I mean, a lot of personal stuff, and then when things we were talking about with deployments and this and that, I had two young kids, was married, didn't have the best job, and I mean, San Diego is very expensive,
Right,
so
right.
a lot of financial stresses and
Sure.
things, and it was more economical for my wife to stay home with the kids than it was to put them in
Oh, for sure. Daycare or anything,
daycare,
yeah.
because any job she was getting was not even as much as what daycare would cost. So,
Right.
which I don't know. Either way, it was like, I know it was tough on her to be home with them all the time and no
Yeah,
break because I traveled a lot
yeah.
and with work, and so
That's a lot
I
of stressors.
there was a lot there.
Yeah,
And he picked it
and
up
he
and
recognized
recognized it,
that.
and it was kind of I talked a little bit, and it was kind of like, oh, okay.
Did you feel like, "I can at
It
least
was like,
breathe a little bit?"
yeah.
Little? Yeah.
Yeah, and I told him about that stuff. I didn't
Mhm.
bring up anything from the past or any of
Yeah.
the majors. And he's like, "Oh," he goes, "We can work on these things. That's no problem." And then a while later, I got into a car wreck. It wasn't a devastating wreck. Some guy wasn't paying attention and rear-ended a car that rear-ended us and then pushed us into someone. It
Mm.
was just one of those kind of chain
Yeah.
reaction good old San Diego traffic. Uh,
Right.
and so it was, but I was out of work for a few days, about a week, because I had hurt my back and I was trying to get things straightened out. And my work at the time, I didn't have like paid time off or anything. So,
Mm.
it was things. And when I was talking about that, he basically he was like, "All right," he goes, "Not a problem," and he took out his personal checkbook and
Stop.
wrote me a check for like $300. He goes, "Hopefully, at least that'll help you get
Wow.
things." So really great guy.
Solid guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
he was really great. Actually found out he retired as a full colonel out of the army.
Wow.
So good for him. It was
Yes.
well deserved as that kind of
Yeah.
guy. But then back when at 9/11 we were getting ready to gear up. We were our company first. We were going to be going over to the Middle East, but then they wanted us to go up north to hold down security at the I can't remember what base it was, but one of the Air Force bases, since they were deploying all the active duty people out.
Yeah.
So either way it was going, we were getting activated.
Right.
So we had to go up. Excuse me, had to go up north for training and you know all the physicals and all those things
Yeah.
to get ready to be activated again.
Now, with stuff like that, you guys, when it's something that big, you have no idea how long you're going to be gone or anything, do you?
Yeah, no,
Like,
no, not at
yeah,
all.
which
We didn't.
that's tough.
Yeah, we didn't know. The only guarantee we were told is, hey, you're going up here for this workup for 1 to 2 weeks, and then you'll come back home and be home for at least 60 days before you're activated and deployed.
For God knows how long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at that
Okay.
point, it was, well, at what?
Huge stressor if you
So,
have a family. Gosh.
yeah. And I had, as I said, I had my two small boys at the time.
Yeah.
And um, then, so we went up for the workups, training, and all these things. And I was still recovering partially from my injury.
Yeah. The accident.
And then while we're up there doing all this stuff, I got re injured in my back. Um, Loading up supplies,
Mm-hmm.
basically. And then we went up for, and I was still kind of working through it. I was doing okay. Then we did more workups. It was fell out of um, fell in about 30 feet and hurt my back again. Uh, then I was getting, everything was okay. You're not medically cleared to go.
Mm.
So it was, down now. I'm the command or the platoon chief. These are
Yeah.
my guys, and now I'm being told
Oh.
I can't go with them. So overall, I mean, these I'm responsible for these guys. I mean, I had a great platoon, loved all the guys. Just felt terrible
So they were
thinking,
probably upset too if you weren't going.
yeah, a lot of them were. I mean, they were all trained well,
Mm-hmm.
and they knew how to step up and take control and do what they needed to do. We all made sure of that. But yeah, it was tough all the way around. I had a lot of them were like, man, I don't know what we're gonna do without you, this and that, and I had to be the, you
How
know,
did that make you feel though? Just
I mean, I felt I was proud that I did enough that
mm-hmm.
these guys felt that way
Felt
about
that
me, and it
way.
wasn't just a, oh well, somebody else will deal with it.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but also it was heartbreaking
Yeah.
because I mean it was a two way thing because it was like, oh, I don't have to
You don't
go
have the gut. Right.
and I can be home with my family,
Right.
but then I don't get to go and be with my other family that
Right. Right.
we've learned and trained and
Right.
put our trust in each other, and
Yeah.
it was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot going on, and months later, uh, I got the I got the call. The guy was sitting in my seat in the Humvee. They had hit an IED, and everyone was killed.
Oh my God.
So, I mean, I look at it as again two ways. It was hard to sit there and think that could have been me,
Mm-hmm.
but then again, I sit there and think that it was him, and he's got small kids and a wife,
Mm.
and so
Oh,
I started living with that you know he was only in that spot because I wasn't there.
did you start having survivor's guilt?
I do, still do,
Still do.
um, and that was really a big part of where a lot of the things from the past and everything started coming out, where
Yeah.
everything started unboxing, and I didn't know what to do. For some reason, I started writing things down. Just started kind of what I call word vomiting. I was
Yeah.
just writing feelings down, and I wasn't showing it to anybody. I wasn't telling
Right.
anybody. And then,
Was it helping, do you think?
in a way, it was.
Yeah.
It was giving me a way to put things down on
And you
paper.
were getting it
I
out.
was getting it out.
Yeah.
I wasn't telling anyone, and I wasn't probably getting the help and support that I needed. Um, but it was definitely um, coming out and and getting there. Um, and
Ugh.
it's I've told a lot of people now that that's something it's led to a lot more
Mm-hmm.
for me and taking me other places. But that was the beginning of my healing, I guess you could say. Um, and there was a lot more than just what was current
Mm-hmm.
that was being written. I put a lot of things down, and a lot of those scribbles
Mm-hmm.
that I had, they ended up turning into poetry that I still didn't share with anyone.
Really?
It was still just
It's
mine.
just you. Mm-hmm.
Some things I wrote down and I literally threw them away or burned them, or I didn't keep them.
Oh,
Um, it was just my
was your
way of
outlet.
it was mine.
Yeah.
It was just mine. And
Did you think you didn't share because you didn't want anybody to know, or just you felt like it'd be a burden, like on say your wife, or
I think, yeah,
yeah.
in a way, yeah, it was.
So
I
you just
didn't
wanted to
want it.
keep it to
Yeah,
yourself. Yeah.
I the way I grew up, it was always that way too. You just kind of you dealt
Mm-hmm.
with things unless it was something major. Then
Right.
never heard my dad talk about any problems, that kind of stuff. So I didn't grow
Mm-hmm.
up. He was an Air Force guy.
Okay.
Great guy. I loved my dad. Uh, he passed away a few years ago, and
Mm-hmm.
but we had a lot of talks before then, and a lot of stuff. So
Oh,
that was good
good.
stuff. Um, but yeah, definitely didn't want. I don't know. It was a part of didn't want to burden anyone, but also didn't want to show my weakness, I guess you could
Yes.
say.
Yes.
I needed,
Mm-hmm.
I had two small boys. I needed to be
Gotta be
strong for
tough.
them.
Yeah.
I gotta show them that we
How old are they when this is
when this was
happening?
going on. Let's see, um, 9/11. That was two. So they were 1 and 2. Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Gosh.
So young. So
Yeah,
young. Yeah.
young.
When you said, 9/11, I'm thinking like, yeah, well,
Yeah,
I know my daughters were this, then.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 My oldest will. Yeah, he's 27 and just got married. So, um, which kind of funny. And right after 9/11, him being even so young, I guess was seeing things on um, TV. I had just left for work. I had no idea what was going on. I had woken up and was getting ready. I worked for a construction company as an IT guy, and I was woke up late, and I always rode with another guy because we only had one car.
Yeah.
So I rushed and got ready and went out to the corner where I always met him, and I got in, and he's like, "Do you hear what's going on?" And I'm like, "No, what's going on?" So he started telling me, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" So I called my
Yeah.
wife and said, "Hey, turn on the news."
Right.
Um, and then
I know it's so crazy how we all remember exactly where we were, what we were doing,
yeah,
how we found out. Ugh.
yeah, yeah, that was the day. It was a major change in the
And
way.
especially being a military guy. Like, oh,
Yeah, Yeah, one of the funniest parts, excuse me, one of the funniest parts with all that is we were at work and I was at work at my regular job. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, we're getting calls, saying, hey, we're, you know, doing phone musters, basically,
Right.
making sure they get a hold of everybody. And then telling us we're probably going to get called up and this and that. And I went, first thing I thought of was what? I was like, oh my gosh, all my uniforms are dirty. I haven't done
Right.
any laundry
You're
for
right.
that.
Yeah.
So I rushed home during my lunch, grabbed all my uniforms and took them to the dry cleaners. But on the
Wow.
way back, I was going a little fast, and I got pulled over by a California Highway Patrol. And he came up and he was like, he goes, I'm pulling you over. Like they always get you to admit it.
Yeah.
And I just kind of said, yeah, I know I was speeding. And he goes, any reason that you're speeding? I had a pile of uniforms in the passenger seat. And I was like, well, I'm with the National Guard and we were just told we're going to get called up. So I'm trying to get everything to the dry cleaners and get ready to go.
He better not have given you a
And
ticket.
well, he just kind of said, okay. And he walked back to his car. He's got to run it and make sure I'm not wanted or something.
Mm-hmm.
But then he walked back up and he handed me my license and insurance and stuff and looked at me. He goes, shoot a couple for me. And I was like, so, yeah. So that was, I guess, my funny story for that
Right,
part of
right. Yeah.
it.
Oh, gosh.
But yeah, back to the writing, I guess would be that it started coming out more and more. I did a lot of poetry writing and I never really did a whole lot with it, and we had later moved here to Virginia. And that's where I met a guy. I work on a DoD contract now.
Okay.
One of the guys I met was a retired colonel from Marine Corps. Real nice guy, big, huge guy. And one day I was just having a really bad day, and it was just a lot of stuff was just hitting me personal and all this
Mm-hmm.
other stuff. And he pulled me aside and he's like, "What's going on?" And never expected it from this big
Right.
bad Marine.
Yeah.
um, and so I kind of gave him a little bit of what's going on. He goes, "Who are you talking to?" And I was like, "Well, nobody, man." I was like, I got a clearance. I still have to keep my clearance. He goes, "You can talk to somebody." I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Like, really?
So, I mean, this is what 10 years ago now
Mm-hmm.
that I'm just now finding out, you know,
Yeah.
2015 and from when I joined in 1990, I'm just finding out I
Right.
was allowed to actually talk to somebody
Yeah.
and allowed to have these feelings.
Yeah, that's
And
crazy.
yeah, and he had told me stuff that he had gone through. Um, uh, a lot of stuff was similar with me with not like his missions and things, but
Mm-hmm.
personal wise,
Yeah.
I had I'd almost killed myself a few times.
You did.
Was there, but um, thoughts of my kids and things like that had
Mm-hmm.
stopped me. So I started to go see somebody, and one night in particular, it got real bad, real dark. Wife and I were having problems. All this stuff was going on. I was drinking heavy back then,
Mm-hmm.
and I was sitting in my recliner at home. Everybody was upstairs in bed, and I was probably 6 beers in, and I drank bourbon beers, so they were
Okay. Yeah.
pretty like 8% each or something like that. So they're
Yeah.
yeah, a little stronger than usual. Um, and I was sitting there, and I had my pistol on my lap, and was that was going to be it. That was all of it. Um, and the weird thing is, my phone buzzed, and I picked it up and I looked, and it was a buddy of mine from California. Um, was just a friend. He was never a military guy. This night we just knew each other. We're friends. And he messaged me and said, "Hey, what's going on? Something seems weird." I'm like, it's like, what? And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "I don't know." He goes, "I just feel off today." He goes, and was thinking about you. So I messaged him back. I started telling him what was going on and everything. And kind of went through the whole story of, everything, how I was feeling and all these different things.
Right.
And then he asked me, he goes, "And where's your gun?" And I was like, "It's in my lap." He goes, "Well, go put it away." Took a little convincing, but
Yeah.
I finally did. And that was the last night I ever had a drink.
Really?
Yeah. I never had another drink. And it was because it just really hit me that it's like, okay, Brian from 2,000 plus miles away.
Thank God for that
Yeah.
text.
Yep. And
Had you been planning it in your head? Like, were you already having suicidal thoughts, like ideation, and
yeah.
then you just drinking and you so many times
Yeah.
that happens. It's just impulsive or with alcohol or drugs. Like,
Yeah.
oh man.
The
Thank you
count.
for the text, buddy.
Right.
Right?
Exactly. And the funniest thing is, no matter what he was saying at first, was nothing was changing. It wasn't.
Yeah.
Then the one thing he said was, he goes, "Do you really want your kids to find you like that in the morning?" And that's what hit me. So that yeah, that kind of put it into perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Well, congratulations on stopping,
thank
with
you.
drinking and everything. That's not easy,
No,
especially when you're struggling with stuff.
yeah, it was always, and I have a feeling that, I mean, obviously the drinking had a lot, more to it, but
Right.
also all the medication that the VA had me on,
Mm.
compounding and
Mm-hmm.
everything else. So that,
Did they have you on antidepressants and stuff?
man, antidepressants. They had me on nerve blockers. They had,
A lot.
I was on a lot more than I am now. I'll say
Yeah.
that.
What do you think
um,
made you stop? Like, what in all of that with that night made you like, I'm never picking up a drink again?
I think it was just the thought of, like, I started thinking the next day, how did I get to that point?
Mm-hmm.
And then I was just sitting there thinking, it's like, okay, in my mind, I was like, I can't stop my medication because,
Yeah.
it takes the pain and the physical pain and stuff. And then also, helps me with keeping the emotions and stuff. And then
Yeah.
I was literally looking at pill bottles while I was taking my medication in the morning. And every single one of them said, don't take
Don't
with
drink. Yeah.
alcohol. Don't drink.
Right.
Don't drink.
Right.
And it was
Right.
like, it kind of just hit me of, maybe that is why I got to that point. Maybe
Thankfully,
that where
you
it
had that
was.
awakening. Gosh, that's awesome.
It's like, listen to a
Yeah.
doctor and a pharmacist. Wow.
Right. Right. That makes too much sense.
It's like,
Yeah.
they only went to school for a little while
Yeah.
for this stuff.
Right. Oh,
But yeah, I think that,
did your wife know that you
um,
were at that point?
not at that time.
Okay.
Um, she knew I was having a lot of problems, but I kept everything
Mm-hmm.
in close.
Yeah.
I didn't talk. I didn't like to burden, I guess you'd say, people that were close to me.
Right.
But I paid somebody now
Right.
that I'm talking to. So,
Right. Right.
well, the VA was paying
Yeah.
them.
Did that make a big difference for you?
um, the first person I talked to, it made a difference.
Okay.
And then it started not making as much a difference because I guess she kind of lost her focus.
Okay.
I started hearing more about her and her husband, and I'm like,
Oh,
that's not why I'm here.
yeah.
So I stopped going.
They're not supposed to do
That's it. No,
that.
I stopped going to them, and then I went to someone else that was. They were decent, but not. They were almost that person that when you're talking to them, you can look and go, huh, hi, are you listening?
Right. Are you in there?
Are you really?
Yeah,
You got
yeah.
earbuds in?
Right.
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 um,
I think that's why it's so important too when you finally get to the point where you will talk to someone, you might have to go through 10 different people, which sucks, but to find the people that you're comfortable with.
yeah.
A lot of people go and they don't have a good experience and they're like, fuck this, I'm not doing this anymore.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was another, the next person I went to was, they were really good.
Good.
They listened, they actually, responded and spoke back. And, I gave them a copy of, some of my writing to
Mm-hmm.
look at. And, it made a big impact on what they, how they talk to me
Right.
and stuff like that, which was amazing and good. And then her husband was getting transferred,
Oh,
military wife. So
had to
she had,
leave.
yeah, she gave me a recommendation for somebody else because she was unfortunately not going to be there anymore.
Yeah.
And that guy was good for a while, and then he was one of those guys that I like to call him the wannabe SEALs.
Oh,
He was never in the military, but he got a contract thing where he was starting to talk to all these Navy SEALs and, doing care for them. And he, he started saying, "Oh, you should come out to one of our groups. We go out and we forge knives and we forge shields and helmets." And I'm like, "That's not my thing."
right.
And he's
Yeah.
like, "Come be a warrior with us." And I'm like, I gave that life up. I'm not a warrior anymore.
Right. Right.
I'm not a soldier.
You're like, I'm just trying to deal right now.
I was like, I'm trying to deal with all the stuff
Yeah.
that was from there, not get
Right.
back to it.
Exactly.
Um, and yeah, I just stopped going to him.
Yeah.
And I actually stopped going to anybody for a while, which was not good.
Okay.
Because
Were you
I
going
just,
weekly for a
yeah,
while? Yeah.
yeah. And then I just totally stopped. And
Mm-hmm.
it was a really bad decision to just not go see anyone. So
Yeah.
there for a while, and personal things were getting a little crazier and off. And I luckily I have a good friend. He's a retired Navy senior chief now. Andy was a good friend of mine that him and his daughter and my daughter met as soon as we moved to Virginia. And so we were friends
Good
and stuff, but
friends.
he was, still active. He was
Yeah.
deployed and things like that. But I always joked saying, who's got custody of the girls this weekend?
Right.
And it was just always our our
Yeah.
joke. So
Oh,
we were pretty close. But we still are. But there was a time when I knew he was a guy I could call, and I had made that call because a lot of stuff was going wrong again,
got dark again.
and
Yeah.
got real dark. And then he he left work, and came right up to where I was, and we
Ugh,
we
those kind of people just.
yeah, we stood in a parking lot, and I don't know how long we were there, but we just stood in this parking lot and talked, and it was it definitely got me out of that point. I had not long before that I had taken, because I was having all those ideas and things again. So
Mm-hmm.
I had taken all my guns and sold them all. I
Really.
got rid
Yeah.
of them all, got them out of the house. I knew I didn't need them.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to have them around for protection stuff, but I was like, I don't need them for other reasons. So,
Right.
um,
That was smart. That probably took a lot for you, to get rid of them, especially it had been such a big part of your life for so long and military and
yeah, it
take
was,
pride in that stuff.
it was, yeah, it was hard. I mean, I had taught all my kids how to shoot,
Mm-hmm.
how to respect guns,
Right.
um, the right way. Kept them all locked up, told them
Mm-hmm.
the right things to do with them, and
Right.
that kind of stuff. Never made them shoot if they didn't want to, but they all
Mm-hmm.
wanted to learn at least how to,
Yeah.
you know, handle them. And I know, like, especially since, playing video games and things like that, and then
Mm-hmm.
taking them to the range, and first time they shot, it was like, oh, whoa,
Yeah.
like, it's nothing like the video game.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Good bonding for you guys though.
yeah,
I bet. Yeah.
it was good. And,
So when you met with a friend, were you having suicidal ideation then too? Was it creeping back in?
Yeah, I was actually driving down the road and I was going to a store, um, and was having a lot of bad times, personal wise, and I always carry a knife with me, just
Yeah.
it's a tool.
Right.
So it was, well, not now because I had to fly here, but but
I can't tell you how many my husband has lost in his bag even when we're
yeah.
going through the airport.
Oh yes,
They're like,
yes.
"Oh, yeah."
Yeah, it was a last thought before I left my house. I was like, oh yeah, leave the knife.
Right, right.
um, but I had, going through my head, there was a bunch of thoughts of, how I could end things with my knife.
Okay.
Um, and when I pulled over, I text Andy, and I think the only thing I got out on the text was I need help. I think that was like all I could get.
Mhm.
And he called and said, "Where are you?" And I told him where I was, and he said, he goes, "I'm on the way." And he stayed on the phone, and he got up there, and yeah. So friends are a big part.
Yes.
I don't have many. I'll say
You
that, but
don't need many. I mean, you have good friends like that. God, that you're lucky, you know?
yeah, yeah, he's
That's amazing.
yeah. I mean, having a friend that's that close and will show up for you,
Yes.
or one that's over 2,000 miles away
Right.
and
Right.
text you and talk to you. That's
Right.
yeah, it's it's great. Kind of going on. I'm big Dungeons and Dragons guy. So
Mhm.
been playing since like 1978. So
Okay.
um we were my two oldest sons wanted to learn how to play. So we started playing and meeting in groups, and then of course lockdown happened. That
Mhm.
changed.
Yeah.
But then we got back together and we started having more people come and play. And the funny thing was is we went to my wife and I and our youngest daughter, we went to a horror convention, where there's a bunch of actors.
Yeah.
Well, my youngest daughter is a big fan of Scream and also Halloween, Michael
Right.
Myers and stuff. So she's also a big Spider-Man fan. So kind of strange mix, but but we were at this convention, and she was meeting all these different celebrities, which was a lot of fun.
Right.
Um, Pictures of her getting choked by Michael Myers, and but she was just like so excited to meet Nancy Ritter from Scream.
Yeah.
She was the bathroom girl in
Right.
Scream. Well, we're standing there and waiting to talk to her, and my daughter was getting so excited she actually started to cry.
Oh.
And I want to say she was 12 or 13 at the time. Yeah, 12. I think she was 13.
Mhm.
But Nancy was talking to one lady, and she saw her, and she told the lady, she goes,
You
"Hold on,"
lost
and
it.
she ran over and she gave her a hug, and she goes, "Give me a
Oh.
minute, give me a minute." And then so she finished talking to this lady, and then started talking to my daughter and gave her an autograph,
Oh.
and they started just really bonding and
Yeah.
talking. And
Yeah.
well, I don't remember how it came up, but something about Dungeons and Dragons came up, and Nancy goes, "Oh," and she pointed at the guy that was her handler and says, "Oh, he wrote a book about Dungeons and Dragons." And he goes, "Oh God," he goes, "Yeah, but," he goes, "you'd have never heard of it." And I was like, "Well, what's the book?" And he said, "Loners." And I went, "Oh my God!" I said, "That's like one of my favorite books."
You're like, "I've read that 10
It's
times."
like, and he goes, "Oh, my one fan," and well, we became friends.
Oh,
And
fun.
he came over, played D&D, and then he started telling me, he goes, "Man, your storytelling." He goes, "You got to start writing."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, I just do it, for this." And I never mentioned, the writing that I do for my release and,
Right.
stuff like that. He goes, "No," he goes, "You really got to start writing and start doing something." And kept every time we get together, he would say that. And then even when we weren't together, he'd text me about it. Be like, "Dude," he goes, "I haven't seen any writing yet." He goes, "You got to send me something."
See, and that's a gift. To be a good storyteller, I think is a gift. That doesn't I mean, I guess you could learn it, but it's a gift for most people that can do it.
Yeah, being able, I always tell people, is like anybody can tell a story,
Yeah.
but being able to deliver it in a
Yes.
way that you draw people into it.
Mm-hmm.
That
Right.
takes, and I mean, like I said, I've been playing since 1978, so I'm not saying I was a natural. I
Right.
learned how to, draw the game in, and I
Yeah.
played with many other players and people that were great storytellers. So I kind of,
Love
I
it.
learned from them,
Sure.
and I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
So I like making the game immersive,
Yeah.
and that's what I like to do. How I do my writing now. I make it immersive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, he finally convinced me to do some writing, and he's like, just write a chapter and send it to me. He goes, write it about the D&D game. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay. So, um, I wrote a chapter, and I sent it to him, and he messaged me back right after reading the first paragraph and goes he, I think it was pretty literally, he said, "What is this crap that you sent to me? This is not your storytelling."
Right.
And I was like, okay. So I was like, I'll rewrite it. So I just took the first paragraph and was like, I sat down and I
Right.
rewrote it. And he
Did
goes,
you feel like it was good when you sent it to him?
I thought it was
Yeah.
great.
Okay.
I was like, I was impressed with myself when I
Right.
wrote it. I was like, hey.
Right.
And then I was like, oh.
Oh.
And not only was it, getting a critique like that, but a critique from someone that I respected their
Yeah.
writing was like,
Right.
ouch. So after I'd gotten that first one back and stuff, I sat down and I rewrote just the first paragraph.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to try to rewrite the whole thing yet because I was like, okay, I got to get past the first paragraph.
Right.
So I rewrote it and sent it to him, and he goes, okay, stop with all this typical book crap. He goes, it's not, you're not starting out, some old 1700s novel,
Yeah.
where on a beautiful beach or, that
Right.
kind of stuff. He
Right.
goes, just write what's coming to you. So I was like, okay. So I sat down and I rewrote it again. And he messaged me back. He goes, that's what you need to do. And I was like, oh, okay.
Wow.
So he really mentored me into
Yeah.
the way of thinking and telling me that don't think about your writing. Think about you're just putting your story out.
Yeah.
He goes, just the way you tell it. So I sat down and I started writing, and I was doing it in about 5 chapters into the book. I realized I was actually in the middle of the book and not the beginning of the book. So I had to go back and start again I still had those chapters, which I never
Right.
will, but I had to fill from the beginning of the book to this one and figure out where it was.
Right.
Luckily, the first kind of book I was writing is a D&D novel. It's based, well, I can't say it is a D&D novel because I'm not sponsored by the Wizards of the
Yeah.
Coast. So it's based on
Right.
a D&D game that it was a game that I'd ran for about 5 years. So I was the dungeon master. We had all the players, my sons, and Chris was one of them.
Yeah.
And Chris was the guy
The
that was
guy.
mentoring
Yeah.
me. So I had started putting it together. Well, during that time, we were still playing the game, so
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have all the content to put into it.
Right.
And then another story just came to mind, flashed into me. I don't know where it came from, and I started writing it down. And I told Chris about it. He goes, "That sounds really cool." Well, it's turned into I'm working on book 3 of the novella series for it now. It's about a demon slayer in Victorian London. And book 1 just got nominated for an International Reader's Choice Award, which I was like, what?
Oh,
I don't
wow. Like
understand.
surreal,
Yeah,
right?
it's like all this stuff started coming. I was like, this is just, it's nothing. I mean, this was just when he started getting me right about this, it was just a
Right.
passion thing. So it just started when I would sit down and write. It felt like that, even though I wasn't writing down what I was feeling, the emotions and all these things, it was like a release.
Yeah.
Kind of I always say like the Demon Slayer story that I'm ready. It's kind of it's not the exact words of this and stuff, but it's like when I'm thinking about certain things and this Demon Slayer is going in, taking care of, this demon or,
Right.
rescuing somewhere. It's me kind of fighting those emotions and things that I have, and
Yeah.
it's slaying the emotions, I
Yeah.
guess you could say.
Right.
But yeah, it's kind of it's a release and a
So
different way to put
cool.
it out there. My writing is kind of dark. That's just the way I am.
Right. Right.
The D&D book, I mean, I finally got it finished after all the time, put it out there, and it's been an incredible seller.
Really.
Yeah, I've been blown away by people.
We got to make sure we put all these on in your description, like links to them. Yeah. How cool.
um, and then I just recently, um, I fought and fought and fought with myself for quite a while. Kept saying I need to do maybe some more personal stuff to kind of put things out there.
Yeah.
And I started putting all my poetry into a draft, into a book, and then I had it ready, and then I didn't publish it, and then I had it ready, and I didn't publish it, and like
Why?
a few times, it's so personal, and it was very hard for me to take that and put it out there.
Like let the whole world
Let
know.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
because that's letting a lot of people in,
Yeah.
and it's becoming very vulnerable
Mm-hmm.
on that. So I had I put a couple of my poems up on my writing page, my
Mm-hmm.
Instagram page, and people reacted real well to them. A couple people had messaged me saying, "Oh my gosh, that made me think about this," and you know somebody that was going through this, and I'm like, okay.
Like, okay, there might be something
So
here.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh, and I've never looked at it as I don't look at my writing and my books as something where I'm gonna be Stephen King or
Right.
it's not a financial thing for me to
Mm-hmm.
go. It's a very personal, very passion
Right.
project. I enjoy doing it, and when I go to Comic Cons or any of the conventions that I go
Yeah.
to sell books, I have fun talking to the people that come up and just want to know about it.
Right.
And then one of the first conventions where someone came up and they recognized, I think, want to say it was the Norfolk Anime Convention. This guy walked up and he was looking. He points at the D&D book, the Fortuitous Few, and he goes, "Did you write that?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh my gosh, that's in my my Amazon cart." He goes, "I keep thinking about buying it," and I'm like, "What?" It was
Surreal. Like,
yeah,
right.
like
Yeah.
somebody, and he goes, "I'm going to get it now so you can sign it," and so and it was just like, wow. And then that same day, I had a girl come up with her boyfriend, and she goes, "Oh my gosh," she goes, "We just got your book on Amazon, the first of the Damon Blackwell series,
Mm-hmm.
Shadows of the Past." She goes, "We just got that, and we both have just read it this past weekend." She goes, "It was amazing," tell me. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh." I was like, "If I was like, I wish you had it with you. I'd, just sign it for you." And she goes,
Right.
"Well, we're going to get the second one because we didn't know you had a second book out yet, and the second book in the series." And I was like, "Well, okay." And I signed that one for him and stuff. And they kept bringing some of their friends over, and they're like, "Yeah, this is that guy," And I'm like,
Oh.
so it was very.
How did that make you feel though? Were you like, I don't know,
It
like
was
just surreal?
weird. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know how to kind of,
Yeah.
because I was like I said, I mean, yeah, I'm out there and people
Right.
are gonna see me, but it was just like, oh my gosh, now people are recognizing me. I don't
Recognizing you.
know. Yeah.
Yes.
Um.
So
So
cool.
it's cool, but it's like kind of weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like being known
I'm
as
trying to think. Don't laugh at me because I'm really ignorant with some of this stuff. Um, we went to this. I'll just have to ask you, Dan. What's that place? Am I thinking of the right thing with Comic Con and all that? Remember we went and everybody was dressed in their dragon stuff. What do we go to? The medieval.
Renaissance fair.
Yes. Is that like the kind of stuff?
Um, kind of, sort of.
Okay.
Renaissance's fairs are more based just on that
That
era, that
time.
time
Okay.
piece of the
Yeah, because people
Renaissance.
were like dressed to the T, working the part,
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Now Comic Cons, they're things where people are dressing majority are dressing as their favorite comic book characters. You know,
Okay.
Spider-Man, Superman, those
Okay.
kind of
So
things.
that's all like comic stuff mostly.
Yeah, and
Okay.
also anime
Okay.
and things like that. So, and it's huge. I mean, you get a
Yeah.
lot, and I think part of the reason I get kind of I do well at those is a lot of those people played Dungeons and Dragons.
Right.
So
Right.
my book, and then they
Yeah.
come in and talk about the Demon Slayer, and they're like, oh, and so it
I love
kind of hits,
it.
which is it's
So
that
cool.
I always say, because a lot of people are like, you don't really go anywhere. I don't even go to the store. I order everything
Do
to come to the
you?
house. Yeah, because I don't like crowds.
Yeah.
I just don't feel comfortable.
Right.
Um, but I always say, like, those comic book conventions, anime conventions,
It's
the
like everybody's
gothic
the
festivals,
same.
they're my people,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I feel comfortable.
Right.
And I'm also in a booth with a back, so
Right.
nobody's behind me.
Right. Right.
um,
No, that makes sense.
yeah, it's a place I really feel comfortable, and I can connect with people of
Yeah.
like-mindedness, I guess you
Right.
could say. So
Right.
yeah,
And they're like
and then
admiring you too. That's so cool.
it's weird on that part, but I
Yeah. Yeah.
don't.
Does that make you
But
just want to like do more and put more out because you see the response?
I do, because
Yeah.
like, I'm working on book 3 of that series right now, and I'm getting a lot of messages going,
When's it coming
"Hey, when's
out?
it coming
Right?
out?"
Yeah.
And I've told everybody, hopefully it'll be published by the end of October. And
Cool.
that's been a couple months, and I had a little bit of a setback, personal wise, on some feelings and things, and I didn't get that, and that goes back to the poetry also.
Mm-hmm.
I I sat down and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna. It was actually after I heard back from you all also. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put kind of a story together about me
Mm-hmm.
and some things, just something short. And then the weirdest thing happened is I got a message from, I mean, everybody that follows Writer's Digest got a message, and it was like, hey, we're looking for people to make submissions for poetry, personal stories, short stories, this and that. And I was like, it's like, hey, all right, this is definitely something out there is telling me to
Right.
write this.
Yep.
So I sat down and I wrote it, and I kept it within their guidelines. It was less than 2,000 words. I think they said 2,000 was like the maximum. And I wrote it, and I read it and read it. And then I was like, I don't know if I can submit it. I just, feeling wise, I was like, it's just so personal and
Personal.
things. It's like, it's
Yeah.
hard. It was
Yeah.
just like my poetry book. I was like, I want to
Right.
publish it, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
So actually, I gave a copy to a friend that I work with, Allison, that she's a lieutenant in the Navy. Great person. She's one of those people you can go to and talk to, and that.
Yeah.
And she has the cutest dog in the world named Benson. I
Oh.
watch him every now and
I
then.
really love that for you that you have several people in your life like that. That's okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. It's nice to have people you can
Yes.
talk to, and but I took it and I said, hey, so we read this, and give it, because she's also working on her master's degree and things too. So
Okay.
I'm like, all right, give me your academic hits,
Right.
hit me up.
Yep.
And then she gave me some notes on fixing it as far as the writing and stuff, which she read it, she knows the feelings, and she did it, and she's not a person to judge or anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
which was great. And I was like, okay. So I took her notes and I kind of fixed it up. I kept thinking about it. I had a little while longer. And funny part, I had another horror con, Tidewater Horror Con. I was sitting next to this artist, amazing artist, and his wife was there, and she is a counselor, but she also does like academic editing
Okay.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So we were kind of talking. I was like, it's like, hey, it's like, will you take a look at this? It's like somebody was putting the right people
Yeah.
right there at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
She read it, and she was like, don't change another thing. She goes, it's perfect. She goes, and she would, raved about it. I was like, all right. So I sat down that night after Allison looked at it, and after she looked at it, and I submitted it to Writer's Digest. And now it's up for an award.
That's the one. Yeah.
I was like, whew. And after I did that and heard that, I'm like, you know what? I threw a couple of my poems to some people,
Yeah.
and they're like, we're adding these into our contest, and they loved them. And I'm like, okay,
Yay.
it was getting kind of, you know,
I can't wait to read them.
surreal, I guess you could say. Yeah, I
Yeah,
brought you a
yeah.
copy of the poetry book.
Yay. Thank you. I
um,
want to sign one. I'm just
absolutely,
saying. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, I bring my pens. Well, this is, and so I finally took it and published it, and I did the cover art work on it too
You
myself,
did
and
it?
yeah, and there's
I have my glasses on. What is it called?
it's called "In the Obsidian Mirror I Remain: Reflections of a Fractured Soul." It's dark,
It's
very
okay.
very gothic,
But it's real.
and yeah, I went through a few of them. A lot of them are, like I said, these are ones that I'd written, you know, a lot of really
Yeah.
dark times, and a couple of them I went in and I made a few edits, I guess you could say,
Mm-hmm.
just because it wasn't changing the wording or this and that. It was just things like, oh, I should have put, you know, or
Oh,
you know,
yeah. Yeah.
grammatical kind of things
Right.
to make it flow. And if you'll see as you go through it, they're not all typeset the same way,
Mm-hmm.
because the feeling of the writing as I was doing it, some of it was kind of scattered
Oh,
around,
yeah.
some of it off to the right side instead of the left side. So it's,
And you left it just like that.
yeah,
That's
I
awesome.
typed it up like I wrote it. I write
Yeah.
all my books um, pen and ink before, and then I type them up. Is That's my first editing process, I guess.
Wow.
So yeah,
That's a lot.
I find that if I'm using pen and ink, the feel and
Mm-hmm.
the flow of it
Right.
makes it easier for me.
Yeah.
If I sit down just to type,
Yeah. That makes
it
sense.
doesn't feel the same.
Yeah.
Doesn't come out the same. So,
Wow. You're really coming out on the
but
other side.
yeah, it's made a big difference.
Yeah.
And I have a new counselor that I see now. She's really amazing. The first time she got recommended to me. One, she's part of the VA's community service
Okay.
providers, not community service, health community providers, something like
I
that.
know what you're talking
Yeah,
about because
they take care of the bill.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I think it is it's something because we just had someone here that had a lot of issues with the VA and stuff, and she kept saying community something that she
Yeah,
went to outside of the VA.
yeah,
Is that what you're
yeah,
doing? Yeah.
yeah. She doesn't work for
Dang,
the
I
VA,
can't.
but
Yeah, right.
Virginia or Veterans Community Care. Is that what it?
That
That's
sounds
yeah.
like it.
V
Yeah. And they
yeah.
pay for it.
They pay for it.
Yeah.
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 Well, the funny thing was, first time I met her, um, I went and I sat down. I was in the waiting room waiting, and she came out and called my name, and I was like, "Hey, we walk in," and she had made a comment about my hair and stuff, being purple and things.
Yeah.
And I walk into her office and I look. Everything in her office is purple.
Really? Funny. That's my favorite color too.
Yeah. She's like, it's my favorite color. She goes,
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Aw.
and then just the total vibe that she has. She sat back in a chair and she's like, you can sit on the couch, you can sit on the floor,
Right.
whatever, not just be comfortable. And I sat down and she asked questions, of course, first, first
Sure.
time we're there. She's like, now just tell me about you. Tell me why you're here. What's this? And I just kind of put it all out there and talked to
Mm-hmm.
her. There was never, it wasn't like the other people that I had seen where it was
Mm-hmm.
like an agenda to their questions,
Right.
or this is where we've got to get. It
Like she
was,
wanted to get to know you and really hear about who you are.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 And then even the next time we talked, it was like, she's just, okay, this is the kind of stuff we talked about last time. She goes, can we focus on this area maybe, if you're comfortable with that? And I was like, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Like,
And
sure, that's
so,
fair.
it was so she's very good at what she does.
Right. Like no pressure. Like it really feels like you're having just a conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
not walking in and it's a clinical
Right.
thing. It's just,
And a lot of them are like
yeah.
that.
Which, I mean, I guess for some people that works.
Right.
For some people that's what they want. But
Right.
I'm definitely not.
Right. Same. I'm the same. Yeah.
I mean, I'm an IT professional for a living, and I
Mm-hmm.
run model and sim stuff for the military for training.
Right.
And I had a corporate job before that,
Yeah.
a long time ago, working in a corporate. Yeah,
Not for me.
didn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not corporate, and I'm
I'm
very.
not either. I'd probably be fired
Oh yeah,
pretty
yeah.
quick.
Yeah, I definitely need to, and just let me be me
Right.
and do my thing, and I'll take care of what I need to take care
Yeah.
of.
You definitely can't do
Um,
that in corporate.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was funny. One of the other day, one of the Marines that I work with, because we train active duty Marines and Navy, and this Marine colonel that I was talking to, uh, he was like introducing me to some of the people that were coming for training, some of the higher ranking officers, and
Mm-hmm.
he goes, he's kind of our Abby Shudo of IT. And I was like, it's like, okay, I like that. I like that.
Like, I'll take
I was
it.
like, I'll take
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Oh, so you still get
But
to be involved with the military, which you love, right? You
yeah.
still love it, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I do.
Yeah.
And it's being, I feel so much more comfortable being there and doing, you know, I mean, a lot of people say, oh, I want to see my work, see what result it is and see that there's something. And we do. I sit there and I run the systems for the
Right.
guys while they're doing their training, and they're getting ready to deploy. They're getting ready to go wherever they got to go to
Mm-hmm.
do, their missions.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like they come in and they focus on what they need to do and they get good accomplishment of training, then
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting that
Yeah.
without having to see, trees come down and a
Right.
building go up.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Which is, for me, it's
Super important
yeah,
too.
it's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I get to do it, and I also get to have fun while I'm doing it. Because
Yeah.
I mean, where other place can you sit and talk smack to the people
Right.
you're working with and get it back
Right.
from them and just
Right.
laugh about it?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh, that's
So
gosh. You really come a long way.
I feel,
Sounds like
yeah, there's still a
from
lot. I'll give you. There's still a
yeah.
lot to work on, and personal stuff too. But
Yeah.
I feel like I've found more of a way to make it make it work.
Yeah.
Get an outlet and make it not work, but make it more manageable,
Right.
mentally manageable.
It's all we can do, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Kids are grown
yes.
now. Yeah.
My oldest, like I said, he's just married his girlfriend of, I want to say 11, 12 years. They started dating when they were sophomores in
Wow.
high school.
Okay.
And so they've been through life together already. And
Yeah. Grown together,
yeah,
everything.
Nathan is my oldest son. His wife is Cameron.
Okay.
Love her to death. If anything
Ooh.
ever happens and they break up, I'm keeping her, and
Right.
he's got to go on his own.
Oh,
But
wait till you
no,
have grandbabies.
I want them. What are you talking about?
Listen.
Red Bulls and puppies. That's what they're getting. Uh,
I will tell you, it's a love. Like, no, my girls probably hate when I say that all the time, but we have 3 grandbabies now from my oldest
oh,
daughter, my 30-year-old. But it's a love like no other. It really
yeah,
is. Like, you think, you love your kids and you would do anything for your kids, but I think maybe it's because they adore you so much. The little ones, they think
yeah.
you're the shit.
I can't wait. It'll be, because I remember when my oldest was born. We were in Louisville. He was born in Louisville, Kentucky, and
Okay.
when he was born, and my dad came, and my dad was a big guy. He was holding him like a football. He was a big football
Oh.
player from University of Georgia.
Oh.
The look on his face,
Mm-hmm.
and that was just, it was,
Yes.
oh my gosh, that was
You'll
amazing.
have it
So
too.
yeah, I can't wait. And I know they're gonna have kids in their own time.
Yep.
We gotta. Well, they say be ready, but you're never ready for kids.
No.
Anyway.
No. No.
But then my next son down is his name's Jeremy. He's a math teacher.
Okay.
Amazing, super smart. I mean, they're all smart.
Yeah.
But he's the go-to guy when you got something to do with math. He's our go-to guy. His girlfriend is
Never liked math.
yeah. I don't.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I always say I don't know where he got it, but my dad was in accounting, and
Oh,
my
yeah.
uncle and all of them were in accounting stuff. So it must
Right.
be some recessive gene that passed over me. Um,
You're like, they can have it.
yeah. I definitely did not get the math gene.
But IT's
Um,
tough too, to be good at it.
yeah, and for me, it's I do a lot of hands-on. I mean, I have a master's degree in IT.
Okay.
I'm working on my doctorate, but the fun part is I've done it all
You're too
by.
hard on yourself. Look at all this shit you're doing. Are you kidding me?
I gotta stay
That's
busy.
awesome. Yes.
It keeps my mind going. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I learned a lot of it by hand at first.
Mm-hmm.
Learning everything,
Yeah.
and then I went back and did the academics, and it all just kind of came together. So
Right.
my son Jeremy, that's the math teacher.
Mm-hmm.
When I went back to college to get my bachelor's, he was in high school.
Okay.
He went to a math and science academy. He tutored me through all of my math. So that's how I got through
Thank
my math.
goodness, right?
Yes. So when I was in college, he tutored me through all of them.
That's great.
Oh, yeah, it was great. And he's got an amazing girlfriend, Colleen. She's a middle school science teacher. They met in college, been together a few years.
Okay.
Hopefully,
So maybe that's coming
soon.
too.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
they're probably the next to get married, which I'd be very happy about. I love her to death too. So she's sweet.
Aw, see, you did it right. That's awesome.
Yeah, they both amazing couples.
And you only had the two boys?
No, I have two girls also.
You do?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
So my oldest daughter, she's McKenna. She's my
Oh, that's my McKenna.
cosmetologist.
Yeah. Oh.
She did cosmetology as a program in high school.
Okay.
Got certified before she graduated high school. Been working in full time in cosmetology. I want to say 3 years. Hopefully, I
And
said
how
that
old
right.
is she?
She's 20.
Okay.
Maybe it's 2.
Good for her.
But yeah,
Only
she
20 and already.
Oh yeah, she's
hammering
amazing.
it. Yeah.
She's amazing at it. And her boyfriend, he's amazing. Nate, which funny thing, Nate is her boyfriend. Nathan, the oldest son. They both are born January 27th. Really? Different years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh.
But he's an engineering student at ODU. Was valedictorian of their high school class, and he's super smart. They're a sweet couple together. They're amazing. Love him to death too. So
you have to love that. Well, wait, the youngest, does she have a good guy?
She's 15.
Okay, she doesn't need a guy.
She doesn't
need a guy.
No, well, she doesn't have anybody yet. But yeah, she's 15. She's sophomore in high school. She goes to the same high school that her brother teaches at. So,
are they close?
They are.
Okay.
Luckily, I don't understand how it all happens, but all 4 of them are super close.
That's wonderful.
They all get along. Obviously, they didn't get along all the times of growing up.
Well, you and your wife did something right, for sure. Because that doesn't always happen.
Yeah.
Rarely does that happen where they all get along like that.
Yeah, because I know that, at any point in time, if like I'm here, and I usually take Olivia as my youngest, the 15-year-old. I take her to school every morning. Okay. Well, because I was here, I was like, Thursday and Friday, I'm not going to be here to take you to school. We only live like a mile away from school. So not long. If she had to walk, she walks home every day.
Yeah.
But it was like, I said, if you don't want to walk, your brother will probably come get you. And he's like, yep, I'll come get her. So, so we know that it's like any one of them, they call on each other. They're there.
Well, you guys were blessed with amazing kids, it sounds like.
Oh yeah. They're all amazing. And Nathan actually works with the same company I do at Huntington Ingalls.
Really?
Yeah, he graduated in 2020 with his degree in photography. Okay. I know I probably got the exact thing wrong, but I know photography is his big thing.
Yeah.
He's amazing photographer. Does all my headshots for me.
Really?
Yeah. So he's a professional photographer. But when he graduated, he was like, Dad, I don't think it's time to start a business. I was like, no, not right now, probably. We talked.
Yeah, because 2020, that was, yeah.
So I talked to my bosses, and I told him, I said, look, he's just graduated, with his degree in photography. He worked at Chick-fil-A all through high school and college. Him and his wife both did. She started there first. She used to be a store director, but she doesn't do that anymore. But they worked together there, and I was like, he worked all the way up, and they were like, he's got a degree and he worked at Chick-fil-A that long and worked up. They go, get us a resume. They created a job for him because they really
Oh,
wanted him there. And he's
yeah.
worked there quite a few years, and he does like security, like at the doors, and
Yeah.
lets people in and takes care of the buildings and stuff. And he's a go-to guy for even some of the even people that probably wouldn't know my name if they saw me know him. So,
Yeah. Oh,
and I've
wow.
been at the company
You
longer.
have you have to be so proud.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
all amazing.
Right.
I mean, I'm just so
Well, that's what we always
overjoyed.
wish, right?
Yeah, yeah. I
And to
mean,
find good partners and
yeah, yeah. To be with the amazing partners that they have,
mm-hmm.
and all have good careers going,
Yeah.
and I mean, you can't hope for more for
I
your kids.
know. I know. Well, have they read your stuff?
um, I know they've read like a couple of poems or something. I don't know if any of them have read the full books and
Mm-hmm.
things. And the funny thing is, the D&D book, The Fortuitous Few, uh, Nathan and Jeremy are two of the main characters.
Oh,
Their
really?
D&D characters are two of the
Yeah.
main characters in there. So
Do they think it's cool or are they like, Dad?
no, I made sure with them it was all right. And I first printed it and stuff, and I literally put it together, and I was just going to print it and give it to them
Yeah.
for Christmas stuff. All the people that played,
Oh.
and then decided it was like, well, we should publish it and get it out there.
Just go ahead and put anything else out there that you want to. If you want to read any of your stuff or
Well, I mean, I could. This is the short story that I have that's going up. It's not very long. I mean, and it kind of wraps up a little bit everything we talked about.
okay.
I could either read it or we put it out there. Either
Totally
way,
up to you. If you feel like reading it, go right ahead.
we'll give it a shot.
All right.
All right. So I titled it "Writing in the Shadows"
Okay.
because that was very fitting for me, because that's what I started out
How you
doing, is just
felt.
writing my things, and I kept them all to me.
Yeah.
I recall the light of my phone in the darkness, the muffled hum of the house, and the abrupt silence that came with scrolling through something I wasn't ready to read. A friend's photo, his name, the photo draped in a flag. Language that informed the world he had been killed in the line of duty in a foreign country, and I know he was in the seat reserved for me. The guilt was immediate, biting as shrapnel. My body had failed me with wounds that kept me back stateside, and he had carried the mission in my stead. My chest constricted, my hands trembled, and my mind broke in half. A portion of me was thankful my kids still would have their dad. My wife wouldn't receive the knock at the door. But right on top of such thankfulness came a wave of guilt, suffocating me in the reality that his family had taken had taken the price in his stead. His wife would spend the night alone. His kids would grow up with a folded flag where their dad belonged. That night was the beginning of a different kind of battle, the one inside my head. From then on, his face haunted me through sleep. I had awakened with a start, my heart racing, having seen him die repeatedly in my sleep. Though I was not present, my mind recreated the scene in a crisp detail. The desert night, the engine rumination, the unexpected burst of the fire and metal, the improvised exploded device tore through the highly mobile multi-wheeled vehicle, destroying the silence and taking his life in the seat designed for me. Again and again, I awoke with the blood on my hands. That was how the post-traumatic stress disorder arrived for me. Not from war I had lived through, but from the war I was unwantedly dismissed from. Nightmares tormented my evenings, and sunlight offered no escape. I was on high alert, always monitoring crowds and entrances, expecting an explosion that was not forthcoming. A latent anger bubbled beneath the surface, erupting in strings, words, or slammed doors. And then came the numbness, the empty silence, when I was not capable of feeling much of anything at all. But I never spoke of it. Who could I tell? How could I explain I was being crushed by an event I hadn't even lived through? I wasn't in that Humvee. I didn't hear the blast, didn't feel the searing heat or choking smoke. How could it be my trauma? I had told myself I was a fool to think I had any right to be upset when his family had lost everything. So I swallowed it down, buried it under silence, and let it fester where no one could see. One day I was alone in the stillness, the sort of silence that weighed heavy against my breast. I grabbed for a notebook without much thought, and the pen started to flow. At first, the words poured out onto the page, wild, jerky, unrelenting. They did not appear to signify much, but as the lines accumulated, they started to fall into cadence, a form that was more poetry than prose. I hadn't set out to compose a poem. I hadn't set out to write at all. But as the ink crowded the page, I saw that I was writing fragments of myself I could not utter aloud. Each sentence was a hole to jump through, a means of revealing the pressure without having to explain it to any breathing human being. Writing came to be one place where I did not have to account for myself, did not have to answer the unreal question of why I suffered from something I had not lived through personally. For the first time, the grief and the guilt had a place to go other than the dark places in my head. But even as I wrote the page, a question remained. Would it hold back the nightmare, or was I just touching on a wound too deep to bind? It became something I did for myself, not something I had ever expected anyone to read. I didn't share it with people. I didn't recite them out loud. The poems belonged to my own set of margins on sleepless nights or in stolen minutes when the world around me was still and quiet enough to listen for my own voice. I would go back and read them occasionally, as though to assure myself that the words were true, that the turmoil in my mind could be preserved in lines and stanzas. At other times, I wrote more. Some brief explosions well contained on the edge of the page, some extended spirals lasting for hours. And the others I did not retain, words I wrote in a fury, hot and unmuted, only to rip the page loose and discard it, as though the crumpling of the sheet and committing it to the garbage, I could entomb the passion in it and leave it behind. Writing was reflection and release, a reflection that forced me to confront what I carried, gaze directly into the face of guilt and fear and anger, and a release for when the words were put on paper, they were no longer my responsibility to carry alone. They were on the page. I may still hold it or set it on fire. They set me free, for a minute at least, from their weight. It was a long time before I let anyone see what I was writing. For months, the words were my own, alone in a notebook or in a trash. But one night, drunk and shattered, I was sitting with my loaded gun stretched out over my lap while my family slept just upstairs above my weighted mind. At the possibility of them waking up to the sound that last shot to silence my thoughts, I contemplated leaving the house first. The shakes came on worse than they had before. Out of place, I still don't understand. A friend reached out to me from over 2,000 miles away with a text. Simple in context, but much deeper in reason. He asked, what was going on and what were you doing? Unknown to him and me, it was what I needed. I broke down, sobbing, and emotions poured out into my phone. I explained I was drunk, the pain was too much, and a bullet would be the solution. We texted for hours. He didn't call because he knew I was not one to talk. In those hours, I unloaded my gun, put it back in the safe, and from the distance, he walked me off the ledge. My family none the wiser to what the night had brought. The next day, someone who had been there in her own trauma noticed cracks I could not hide from and told me I needed help. They told me how it helped them and made it easier to hear. Easier to bear. not a cure, but an outlet and a release. Reluctantly, I did go out and get a therapist. At first, I didn't talk much. Speech broken aloud was still too out of the question. But one day I slid a folded page across the desk in lieu of speaking. It was a poem from one of my darkest nights. The room was quiet, differently than after that. My therapist did not judge me, did not stare at me as though I were frail and shattered. She read my writing as though it was not only piece of sorrow, but evidence of survival. For the first time, my writing was no longer a solitary ritual, it was a bridge. Sharing it allowed another human being to walk in the shadows with me, and in doing so, I realized I did not need to wage war on my own. Writing became my expression without expressions. On the page, I could be honest in ways my voice never permitted. It gradually supplemented the things to which, in desperation, I had turned. The bottles returned to the shelves of the stores, the guns departed my home, and though the dark thoughts never ceased to exist, the words provided me another means with which to bleed them out without mauling myself to pieces. It was not a cure. Guilt for living while my brother did not still pressed heavily on my shoulders, and sometimes no amount of ink could wash it out of me. But writing words on the page was a gradual pressure release, allowing me not to drown utterly. Each poem, each page was proof that I was still present, still alive, and still able to carry what was unbearable. What was originally survival was assuming sort of a purpose. My writing was not about generating pretty lines for anyone, it was generating a lifeline for me. And each time I placed my words on paper, I chose life again, though only for the day. I still write today, though with a sense of purpose. No longer do the words stay buried in crumple balls on my secret journals. They're set free into the world, knowing they carry with them pieces of me that I was not able to say out loud. I may not always say what I write for, but the sentiment is there, sewed in the in between lines, real and free. Writing is no longer survival, it's liberation. Everything I put out into the world in poem, essay, and story form is a step further towards rewriting pain into meaning. Writing in the hopes my words might reach another who's alone in the dark, who's buried in the guilt or grief, who's certain no human on earth could possibly understand. Because if my words can assist me in tolerating the war's shadows, perhaps they can assist another in navigating through them as well. And in that, more than anything, lies my strength in continuing to set my pen to paper.
Wow. I think that's probably a good. I think that that's probably so relatable, sadly, for so many people. And the way you put it, gosh. Ugh.
Thank you. I
Wow.
I never knew I had it in me, and
Wow. It's amazing.
thank you.
And there's still so many people out there with those same feelings, like still so in the dark.
Yeah, I've had two other people that I've read this of. They're encouraging me to go to some of these. They have in Virginia Beach. They have military open night mics where you can read
Yeah.
poetry and
Oh,
things. And
God.
I was thinking
Oh,
about it.
God.
Yeah.
Yes. That would be amazing.
And like I said, I'm doing my own storytelling convention next year with writers, actors. We got puppeteers. It's going to be kind of amazing. And I'm thinking about, you know, maybe put something together
Yes.
to go up there and do that. So
Absolutely. Okay, we're going to leave it at thanking you for coming on here and sharing this.
thank
And
you.
we will put all your writing links on there too, because I think your stuff can help so many people. Just to not feel so alone, to hear those words and that feeling.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
It's amazing.
I appreciate that.